Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about issue 264 of Knitting Magazine. I have a design in this issue and I'm going to show you what that looked like and talk a bit about it, which I filmed before I sent the design off to the magazine a few months ago. And I'm also going to show you a bit else of what is in this month's issue. So I hope you enjoy today's video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So this video will be out on Sunday, and there is a 15% off on my website until Tuesday, 21st of October, midday UK time. Because I'm going to Norway the next day, I'm closing the shop at midday on the 21st, and then I will pack up any remaining parcels and take them to the post office after lunch, and then my shop won't reopen for 2 weeks when I get back from Norway. So 15% off. The code is October 15, October 15, all one word. I'll put it on the screen. It'll also be in the description below this video. So do take advantage of this at the moment if you would like to treat yourself to any yarn, beads, knitting notions, my books, Easy Lace Knits and Be the Lace Knitting. Do go and check it out. So before we talk about what else is in this issue of Knitting 264, let's go back a few months and I'll show you what the design looked like before I sent it off. I'll talk a little bit about the design, the construction method, the yarn, things like that. Then I'll come back and show you what else is in this issue. So let's take a look at what this design looks like. So I'm struggling a bit with the light today because I'm filming this in the morning quite early. Because I'm actually going on holiday tomorrow and the sun's coming in through that window, so I'm struggling a bit with lighting this morning, but hopefully it's okay. So this is the design that's in this issue of Knitting Magazine. We'll talk about yarn in a minute, but let's talk a bit about the design first. So it's knitted in the round from the bottom up, so you start down here. It has a garter stitch at the hem. If you struggle to join in the round with getting your stitches twisted, I recommend you just do the first few rows flat. So back and forth rather than in the round. You're doing, I think, 6 rows of garter stitch at the beginning. So doing those flat won't make any difference. It will just look just as good. And then you can join at the end of the garter stitch or after 2 to 3 rounds. That's an easy way to make sure you can join the round without getting your stitches twisted. Okay, so let's look at this design. This is knitted in the round from the bottom up. There's a garter stitch hem, and then it goes into this quite simple lace pattern. It's a 4-row lace pattern. 2 of the rounds are just plain knit rounds when you're working in the round, and purl rows when you're working flat. So you're working in the round to the underarm, and then you split for the front and the back, and you work the back first to the shoulders, do your stitches on hold at the back neck for the neckline. I always try and put stitches on hold for back neck rather than having to pick up later, because I think that's just so much easier. And then you go back and you knit the front. You need to make sure how many rows you've done for the back. Because this is a lace pattern, I wouldn't just rely on measurements. I would actually count the number of rows. So I normally put a marker in at the underarm, at the front and the back, and then I keep track of how many rows or how many repeats I've done, so I can match it exactly. Even if I'm doing stocking stitch, that's the way I like to do it. And then you come back, you do the front to the bottom of the v-neck, do each side separately, and then you pick up stitches later, knit the v-neck. You have a bit of shaping down here to give you this nice point. It's in garter stitch as well. And then you pick up around the armholes and you knit a few rounds of garter stitch here as well. If you want it longer, you can add lengths. You would just work more repeats to the underarm. If you want it slightly longer, what I recommend is, so when you get to the underarm, you put the stitches on a barber cord or a couple of barber cords, or 2 circular needles, so you can spread them out properly. And then I would give them a quick mock block, so basically stretch them out as if you're going to block them. I will normally either stretch them out if I just want to measure it, or if I want to actually try it on, I will actually spray with water, stretch it out. So I do a little mini block, if you like, and then you can pull it on and see how it fits. Obviously make a note of how deep the armhole is as well. So it is a little bit deeper than what I would normally do if it was a sweater, mainly because I thought this would look really good over like a white shirt or something. So I made a slightly deeper armhole so you can fit a shirt or something. I don't know how Knitting Magazine are going to style this, but that's what I would do if I was wearing this. So it's a fairly easy knit. The lace pattern is very easy. So if you're new to lace knitting, this would be a really good first lace garment because the lace pattern is very, very easy and it's a small repeat. It's only 2 rows. You can easily memorize it. So you don't have to keep looking at the chart or written instructions all the time. And the construction is also fairly easy. The yarn I knitted this in is Mode Softest Alpaca from Rowan. It is one of these blown yarns, so it's incredibly light. I haven't weighed this garment yet, so I'm not sure how much it weighs, but it's incredibly light and fluffy. And it has 70% baby alpaca, 7% merino, 23% recycled nylon. And because it is, I'm not sure how they make these yarns, but I'm guessing they make this like knitted nylon tube and they blow the fibers into that. The alpaca merino fibers. I guess that's why it's called a blown yarn. I'm not sure. It's color 69 and it has 130 meters per 50 grams. You get similar meterage in this that you do in a DK yarn, but because of this blown texture, it's probably more of an Aran weight yarn. I did this on 5.5mm needles, and it creates a very lightweight fabric. So if you like thicker garments, thicker yarns, but you don't like the heaviness of it, this is very, very light. I haven't weighed this yet. This is size 10. I'll put the weight on the screen if I remember when I edit this, but it's a very light yarn. I didn't use all the yarn they sent me, so I didn't use as much yarn as I anticipated I would. So these blown yarns are also very economic to knit with because you get the thickness. So if you like knitting with a thicker yarn, thicker needles, you can do that without paying more for your yarn, because normally an Aran weight yarn wouldn't be as economical to knit with as a thinner yarn, but because this has such an incredible meterage for an Aran weight yarn, I don't know whether Rowan class it as Aran weight, but I guess they probably do. They got a recommended needle size on here? No, I can't see anything on the label that suggests. Normally they have like a little tension thing and a recommended needle size, but I can't see that, and I don't want to take the label off this, and I can't find my other label. So it's a nice, easy design to knit, and it'd be very nice and warm for winter. With this issue, there is a supplement called Seamless Knitting. It starts with an introduction about knitting things in the round by Christine Boggis, who's the editor of Knitting Magazine. Then there's the thing about different needles for knitting in the rounds: fixed circular needles, interchangeable circular needles, double pointed needles, other needles such as the Addy Crazy Trio. And then there's a tutorial on the German twisted cast on, and then some technique stuff on knitting in the round, jogless join. There's a photo tutorial on that, and there's a pattern, hat pattern by Christine Boggis, and a sweater pattern by Drops. I don't want to show you these because I can't show you the pattern without showing you some of the text. Then there's a tutorial for Jenny's surprisingly stretchy cast off, and then there's another pattern. This one I can show you because this photo, just the photo on one page. I don't want to show you bits of the pattern. That's another pattern by Christine Boggis, which is knitted partly in the round, partly flat. It's like one of these sleeve things that also wraps around your body. So little extra supplements. If you're new to knitting on the round, you might find that useful. So on the cover, this lady is a social media influencer, but she's collaborated with Christine, the editor, for the cover design, which is quite striking. I'm not sure that it's my style, but I do like it. I do like the ruffles on the sleeves. The ruffles is a lot of knitting. So the magazine starts with some news pages, and there's a yarn feature, new yarns for autumn, new designs for autumn, things like that. Various yarn companies get a mention. Then there's a regular thing, but they take various accessories and homewares, and some of them are knitting related, some are not. There's some sheepskin baby booties, for example, just various things that caught their eye. Then there's a snapshot from the States by Vicky Howell, which has become a regular feature, where she talks about various things going on in the States. I recognise Andrea Mowry gets a mention. Sophie's Scarf by Petite Knit. I mean, she's Danish, but I guess it's popular in the States. And a few other things. And then there is an article by Emma Vining, who designs some amazing shawls. She is talking about reversible shawl designs. Coming up in November is a new TV series on Channel 4 here in the UK called Game of Wool. People are saying it's going to be a bit like the Great British Sewing Bee, is that what it's called? I haven't watched that for a few years. I only watched like 1 or 2 series because I'm not that into sewing. So it's going to be hosted by Tom Daly, and the specialist judges are Dee Gilpin and Sheila Greenwell. It's set in Scotland, I think. It's been filmed in Scotland. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I haven't read this article yet. I started yesterday at lunchtime, but I ran out of time. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I'm going to keep them to myself until I've seen the first few episodes. Tom Daly is a former Olympic champion diver. He actually grew up in Plymouth, which is our nearest city. It's where my daughters were born, where Sam and I lived when we first got married, where Simon works, where we go shopping. It's where our local hospital is. He was raised there, and he started his diving career there. So we used to see a lot of him on like the local news and stuff whenever he was a teenager. I don't know how old he is now. And he apparently got into knitting just before the lockdown or during the first lockdown. And he now has he's written books. He's got his own pattern line. He's got his own yarn. I don't think he designs it, but I don't know. I have views on it, but I think I'm going to keep them to myself for now. So we'll see what it's like when it starts. It is great that knitting is getting more publicity. There was apparently a similar show in Denmark a few years ago, which I watched a little bit of on YouTube. It'll be interesting to see how they do, because obviously knitting takes a lot of time. And I just hope you won't all be sort of chunky accessory type things, but we'll see. I don't actually know what the format is going to be. Then there's a feature on a designer called Sarah Keane. The inspired and prolific toy designer celebrates the launch of her latest book, Knitted Safari Friends. It looks like she's written quite a few books with animals, knitted animals. Then there's some book reviews, including Tom Daly's book. And then there's a yarn review. And then there's the cover design, which was designed by Christine Boggis in association with Astrid, who is the social media influencer. I actually saw her on Instagram this morning, because I'm not very good with influencers, but I followed her on Instagram this morning because Knitting Magazine shared a reel that she'd done. And it looks like she actually lives in Devon, which is not far from me. 2 chunky, I think they're chunky designs, look chunky. A shawl is by Brian Smith, and the sweater is by Jacinta Bowie. And another sweater and some accessories. I'm not going to show you everything that's in here. And then there's my design, this one. I was kind of envisaging it worn over like a long sleeve t-shirt or a shirt or something like that, but they've chosen to style it just as a sleeveless top with bare arms. This was sent in the summer. I can't remember when the deadline was, but it was sometime in the summer. So they probably did a photo shoot on quite a warm day, which is fine. But you can also, if wearing it on its own is not your thing, I was envisaging it over a long sleeve t-shirt or a shirt or something like that. You can easily make it longer if it's too short. The yarn is incredibly soft. I have my swatch here, and it's just so soft and lovely. It is a little bit fluffy though, so if you don't like that, just be warned. It's used to model, and I think that's Emma Vining's shawlette scarf thing. Lots of quite nice designs in this issue. A lot of them are quite chunky, including the one, I can't remember what the brief was. The brief might have been chunky yarn actually. Then there is a very chunky, it looks like cow. Who's that by? That is by Christine Boggis, the editor. Then there's another sweater by Wool Addicts. I don't know who Wool Addicts are, but I do like the colour. And there's a Rowan design by Georgia Farrell. And then they do the normal thing we should do every issue, where they take 3 designs and show them in different colours and with different accessories. That's my design on the top, and that's the cover design on the bottom. And they show different colour combinations and things like that, and different accessories you can theme it with, and different clothes. Then there's a blanket and a hot water bottle, some other accessories, some toys, some Halloween stuff. And then we go into the patterns, I think. So we flick through the patterns because I don't want to show you any of that. Yeah, it's a good mix of accessories, garments, and toys and that kind of thing. That is coming next month. I think I do have a pattern in the next issue as well, but it's not on this page, but I'm pretty sure I have a pattern in the next issue as well. Next one seems to be Christmas Glitz. And I'm very excited about that design. Very excited to share that with you. Then there's the column at the back by Erica Knight and Arabella Harris. They did a workshop recently at the Knitting Hotel, where I teach a lot. And Belinda was saying it was a really great weekend. So that is what is in this issue of Knitting Magazine. Some great designs, good mix of classic stuff and a bit more on-trend stuff, I guess. And I'm interested in reading the article about Game of Wool. I might do a video once I've watched a few episodes of it and let you know my opinion of it. I'm skeptical at the moment how well it will work, but we'll see. I'll let you know when it's on television and I've actually watched it. So that is what's in this month's Knitting Magazine, issue 264. It's in the shops in the UK now. You go and check it out, find them on social media. So thank you very much to my sample knitter who knitted that sample for me. I was very, very grateful for her for knitting it for me. So thank you very much if you're watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.